When I look back on that morning, it still amazes me how something so ordinary, just a shower, just a door not fully locked, spiraled into a series of events that completely changed the way I saw my family, my brother, and even myself. My name is Emily Parker. I grew up in a small suburban neighborhood in Oregon, the kind of place where people waved to one another on the street and neighbors knew what kind of pie you liked before you did. My family wasn't perfect, but we were close, or at least we tried to be. My brother, Ethan, was a year older than me. We were only 13 months apart, what people like to call Irish twins. Ethan and I had one of those relationships that were a mixture of rivalry and unspoken loyalty. We fought about silly things, who got the bigger slice of pizza, who got shotgun in mom's car, but we also looked out for each other in quiet ways. When I was bullied in 7th grade, he was the one who walked me to class, pretending it was no big deal. And when he broke his ankle in 10th grade, I was the one who stayed up late quizzing him on history, because he didn't want to fall behind. That Saturday morning was supposed to be simple. My parents had gone grocery shopping early, leaving Ethan and me at home. I had planned to take a quick shower before meeting my best friend, Lily, at the library to work on our college applications. The steam rose around me, warm water washing away the stress of the week. I remember humming softly, the sound echoing in the small tiled bathroom. I had locked the door, or at least I thought I had. The next thing I knew, the door creaked open. I froze, confused, the shower curtain between me and whoever had entered. "Emily," a voice said. It was Ethan. My heart raced, more from surprise than anything else. "Ethan, what the heck?" I shouted, pulling the curtain closer. There was a pause, then a quick shuffle. Sorry. I didn't know you were in here." His voice cracked with panic, and the door slammed shut behind him. I stood there, breathless, water still running over me. For a moment, I felt angry, violated even, but then I realized something in his voice. He hadn't meant to invade my space. He had been just as startled as I was. When I finished and wrapped myself in a towel, I found him pacing in the hallway, his face red. "I swear I thought no one was in there," he said quickly. "I was just going to grab my phone charger." I crossed my arms, glaring at him but not entirely without amusement. "Maybe try knocking next time?" He rubbed the back of his neck, clearly embarrassed. "Yeah, my bad. Are you mad?" I wanted to say yes, but something stopped me. Maybe it was the look on his face, that mixture of guilt and worry. Instead, I sighed. "Just don't do it again, okay?" He nodded. "Deal." It could have ended there, just another awkward sibling moment we'd eventually laugh about. But it didn't. Because later that day, when I was at the library with Lily, I couldn't stop thinking about how shaken Ethan had seemed. It wasn't just embarrassment, it was something else. Something deeper. That evening, while our parents cooked dinner downstairs, I knocked on his bedroom door. He looked up from his desk, surprised. "Hey," I said, leaning against the doorframe. "So about earlier." He groaned, covering his face with his hands. "Please don't bring it up again. I'll die of embarrassment." I chuckled softly. "Relax. I'm not mad. But you seemed more upset than just walking in on your sister by mistake." He hesitated, then leaned back in his chair. "It's not about that, really. I've just been distracted lately." "Stressed? About what?" I asked. He looked down at his hands, fidgeting. "School. College. Expectations. Everything. Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe, like I'm drowning, and everyone expects me to swim like it's easy." His voice cracked in a way I rarely heard. My brother wasn't the type to show vulnerability. For the first time, I realized the weight he carried, the pressure he never talked about. I stepped into the room, closing the door quietly behind me. "You know you don't have to go through all that alone, right?" He looked up at me, his eyes tired. "Yeah, but you're dealing with your own stuff. I don't want to dump mine on you." I sat on the edge of his bed. "That's what siblings are for. Besides, you already walked in on me in the shower. I think we're even in the awkward department." That made him laugh, the tension breaking just a little. And in that moment, something shifted between us. Not in a strange or inappropriate way, but in a deeper, human way. We stopped being just siblings who shared a roof and started being two people who understood each other more than anyone else could. Over the next weeks, Ethan and I talked more. Late at night, when the house was quiet, we'd sit in the kitchen with mugs of hot chocolate and spill the thoughts we couldn't say to anyone else. He told me about his fears of disappointing our parents, of not getting into the right college, of feeling like he was constantly running out of time. I told him about my insecurities too, how I felt like I was always standing in his shadow, how I sometimes doubted if I was good enough. The shower incident became an inside joke between us, a reminder of the day that forced us into a conversation neither of us knew we needed. And slowly, our relationship transformed. We became allies instead of rivals, confidants instead of competitors. One night, months later, as we sat on the porch watching the stars, Ethan said something I'll never forget. You know, walking in on you that morning, as embarrassing as it was, I think it saved me. I think I would have kept everything bottled up until I broke. But it made you notice. It made me talk. And I don't think I would have otherwise. I looked at him, my heart swelling with something I couldn't quite name. Gratitude, love, maybe both. Then maybe it wasn't such a bad thing after all. He smiled, and for once, I saw not just my brother but my best friend. Looking back now, years later, I realize that sometimes life has a strange way of giving us the moments we need, even if they come wrapped in awkwardness. That morning in the bathroom could have been just another embarrassing memory, but instead, it was the beginning of a bond that carried us through some of the hardest years of our lives. Because what happened next, what happened after he walked in, wasn't scandal or conflict. It was connection. It was the start of us learning how to truly be there for each other. And that, more than anything, changed everything.